Glory be to God, I was saved.
She was electric, sensual, irresistible. Amy Semple McPherson.
For the future. So my plans, as the plans of all of us should be, are in the hands of the Lord to continue with my church work, to preach the gospel as long as I am able.
How did a simple, unassuming woman rise up to become one of the most influential preachers of her time? Despite in those days, women were opposed to stand behind the pulpit. Yes, she was a trailblazing, charismatic evangelist that defied all odds to achieve remarkable success. And who is she? Amy Semple McPherson. When I read about this woman, I was so fascinated. I needed to get more information. What made this woman so unique? How did she build one of the mega churches, even when mega churches weren't a thing? How did she amount to so much success? In this video, that's what we are going to look at. Who was she? How did she grow up? What decisions did she take to get her the success she got? We are going to learn some lessons from her life. We'll see how amazing God uses normal people. No matter what mistakes you do, no matter your shortfalls, if we avail ourselves, we can be used of God. And I love this quote by Tony Robbins. He said that if you want to achieve success, just look at someone who has excelled in your field and copy the process. It's as simple as that. In the next few videos, we'll walk through the lives of trailblazers who shattered societal norms and left enduring impact. Walk with me through this journey. Let's uncover strategies, learn from their mistakes, and discover what it truly takes to achieve great success in any field. Before we go into the juicy part of how she decided to follow the call of God upon her life, let's get to know her background. How did she grow up and what happened before that time? She was born in 1890 and raised in a strong Christian home.
As a young farm girl, the 17-year-old Amy Kennedy had married the dashing and dedicated Robert Semple, and together they had committed their lives to missionary service in China. But it was not to be. Amy watched her dream shatter as Robert suffered and died of malaria shortly after they had arrived in China.
Widowed, brokenhearted, and alone, she decided to come and stay with her mom in New York and continue serving in the Salvation Army. In this period, she met a handsome young man called Harold McPherson. They got married and she gave birth to a lovely son. After she gave birth, she went into a deep depression and sickness, and the doctors couldn't find out what was really going on with her. They couldn't diagnose the sickness and they were so afraid that she was going to die. This is when the story gets interesting. On her sick and dying bed, she felt this deep call of God upon her life, and God was calling her to go and preach His word. This is how she decided to get into ministry. When she told God, okay, I give up, I will go and do your work, that is when she got healed, and within 2 weeks, she was out of the hospital. This transformation made her step out into faith and do what she believed God was speaking to her in her life. The call of God on Sister Amy's life was very dramatic, but it had to be. There was no one in her time who was a woman preacher that she could say, oh, I want to be like this woman. I can follow her examples. There was no one to follow. So God had to call her in a very unique way. Now, from a postpartum depression after giving birth to her falling very sick and ill, and doctors doing all they could, their best. They were doing their best to save her, but the nurses and doctors had given up hope. To her getting the still small voice, to accept the voice within her telling her to go out there and preach. She finally accepting and saying, okay, I'm going to do what I feel God is telling me. The call of God upon your life can be this dramatic as Sister Semple McPherson, or as simple as Billy Graham, who made a decision to follow Christ and the Bible. Whichever case you are, just follow that step so that later on you don't regret and say, I wish I had gone ahead with what I was feeling or what I thought God was telling me to. It's better late than sorry, but it's better to try than not to do it at all. There were also many controversies surrounding her life, from people saying that she wasn't following what true Christianity should look like.
But not everyone welcomed her. She soon faced growing criticism from a powerful local minister.
Fighting Bob Schuler felt that she was a poacher, that she was raiding their congregations. People began to suspect that there was an affair between Sister Amy and Kenneth Ormiston. Minnie Kennedy was convinced that Amy had drowned.
The press were having a field day with this story, and what they discovered was that McPherson's former radio engineer, a guy named Kenneth Ormiston, had also disappeared around the same time Amy did. So rumors began spreading, and the newspapers sensationalized this, that maybe she had escaped away with him.
All these were things that spoiled her reputation, but she came back full and back on track when she decided to serve people during the Great Depression.
During the Depression, she rallied her church to feed and clothe those in need,
to have a meal to fill their belly. This shows us that as human beings, we are not perfect. Whatever you do, there is going to be someone who doesn't like it. There are going to be rumors about you. There are going to be a whole lot of things in your life that want to discredit you just because you decided to follow Christ, right? But what can we draw from this? Number one, let's look at the Lord's Prayer. What are some of the things Jesus teaches his disciples to pray? He said, "Lead us not into temptation and deliver us from evil." Jesus knows this. Jesus knows that in life, evil comes to you when you don't even look for evil. So you have to be diligent and your eyes have to open to the fact that evil can come your way and temptation can come your way. But you always be humble in the presence and in the word of God. God, deliver me from evil. Deliver me from temptation, the last of this life. I don't want to fall in it. Another thing to keep in mind is, even if you fall in evil, if you fall in something you did wrong that wasn't right, you can always bounce back up and do the right thing. In life, the only thing we can do daily is make a decision to do the right thing or the wrong thing. It's a daily struggle. So you have to tell yourself, God, give me the power to be able to make the right decisions, to be able to do the right things. Now, if a farm girl from Canada, Ontario, who had only a microphone, her voice, and faith, can be one of the most influential people of her time, both you and I, we don't have any excuse. We have to take up whatever skills we have developed over the years, and whatever you feel within you that God is speaking to you that you should do. You have to be bold enough to take the step. And once you take the step, God will guide you into the places that He has promised to take you. The purpose of this video is to encourage you. If an unassuming woman like Sister Amy Simple can do it, there is nothing that is stopping and hindering you from also doing the same. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thanks for watching and bye for now.